Hey everybody, it's Shontavia, and I want to talk to you really quickly about getting out of your own way when starting a business because you think it's too complicated. There's really only 4 steps you need to take to start a viable business in the United States at least. Number 1, pick a name that doesn't get you sued. Number 2, register your business with the Secretary of State's office. Number 3, get a tax ID number. And number 4, get a business bank account. If you do those 4 things, for the vast majority of people, you have started a business. Congratulations. Now, depending on the type of business you start and your background and all that kind of stuff, there might be other things you need. So like me, I'm a lawyer. If I were going to start a law firm in a specific state, I'd have to get licensed to practice in that state. If I'm a person who operates a home-based business, I might need to get some licenses or something, depending on where I live and that kind of thing. All that depends on your individual circumstances. So there might be some additional steps you need to take depending on what state you live in and the type of business that you register and all of that. But if you do the 4 things I mentioned, you are well ahead of many people who are just allowing themselves to stay in their heads about all the different complicated, expensive things they think they need to do to start a business. So again, choose a name that doesn't get you sued. Register your business with the Secretary of State's office, get a tax ID number, and get a bank account. And you will have a pretty solid business if you do those things. Now, there's some nuances, of course, but doing those things are basically all the things you need to do. And it won't be that expensive. So choosing a name that doesn't get you sued. If you're savvy, you can spend some time on Google, on the United States Patent and Trademark Office website, on your Secretary of State office's website, making sure that you're choosing a name that somebody else isn't using for the same product or service. You might have to hire a lawyer if there are lots of things you find. But, generally speaking, if you choose a name and you don't find it at like your Secretary of State's registry, you don't find a lot of problematic things on Google or the United States Patent and Trademark Office website, you're pretty safe. Now, talking to a lawyer about these things can be smart, but don't let that stop you. There are lots of things you can do. Second, with respect to registering your business with the Secretary of State, what the SBA has said is that on average to create a business in the United States costs about $300. Now, if you hire a lawyer and they charge you some fees, it might be a little higher than that. It depends on what state you're in. So some states are notoriously expensive to start businesses in. California, for example, is one of those. But generally speaking, according to the Small Business Administration, about $300 will get you an official registered business in the vast majority of states on average. Third, getting a tax ID number is completely free. You can get one at irs.gov, and the reason you want a tax ID number is it's kind of like having a social security number for your business. Some businesses have to have them, some don't, but I think it's pretty good practice, depending on the type of business you have and what you're doing, to at least have a tax ID number. And then finally, getting the business bank account, you can do that for as little as $50, depending on the business or the bank, that you patron. So those are just the fundamental basics. There are lots of other things to consider, like insurance, like intellectual property, like other types of federal numbers you can get, like a Dun & Bradstreet number, for example, and some other things. But to get started, to lay a good foundation, just do those 4 things I mentioned. Choose a name that doesn't get you sued. Register your business with the Secretary of State, get a tax ID number, and get a business bank account, and you will have taken some really good steps towards your business. Now, if you have more questions about any of these things, drop a comment below and I'm happy to share more information with you. Also, if you want to work with me to get your business off the ground the right way, the Brand+Business Academy is the program that I've created to help working professionals who want to start their business while they are employed full-time. I help people start their businesses that way. And so if you're interested in the Brand+Business Academy, also drop a comment below and I'm happy to DM you more information. Thanks.